Hello dear students, I am Dr. Garima Srivastava from Lal Bahadur Shastri College, Lucknow. Now, understanding the international human resource management through different processes or functions is a complex process. To apply these processes in an effective manner, we need certain kind of strategies. There comes the role of strategic human resource management. So, in this lecture, we are going to study about international strategic human resource management. So, for this it is important to understand what exactly strategic human resource management is, and after that we will be relating it with international aspects or international context of strategic human resource management. So, the term strategy, it actually means the plans for an organization, which can be short term, medium term and the long term. When you plan for an organization, the strategies for an organization, these plans need to be based on certain objectives. Similarly, when we talk about strategic human resource management, it also defines certain business goals which need to be aligned with the application of processes and the functions of the human resource management. So, strategic human resource management is defined as alignment of strategic business goals of an organization with the human resources. That means, all the processes or the functions that a human resource management organization does will be related with the strategic plans of human resource department, so as to foster innovation and improve motivation, satisfaction, productivity in the organization. So, ultimately what should be the outcome of strategies, what should be the results of applied strategies in an organization? It should always result in human resource aspects related to creativity, innovation. It should lead to improvement of motivation of the people, satisfaction of the people, employees, and efficiency and productivity of the organization. So, whatever processes are being done or are being pursued in an organization as respect to human resource management, they should be strategically applied, they should be strategically implemented in the organization, so as to get it in a successful manner in the organization. So, over here we can see strategic human resource management is related to almost all the aspects of human resource management department, like employee value proposition, the strategic workforce planning, that means human resource planning, then starting right from recruitment selection process to training them to hiring them at different places, then evaluation of their performances, then performance related rewards, recognition given to the employees. Then again once they are completion, they have completed their international assignment, they will be given certain kinds of rewards and they will be coming back to the original home country. So, all these processes will definitely require strategies to be built. Why? Because when we talk about international human resource management, it involves movement of a person, relocation of an employee from a home country to the host country. Now, this host country can be a third nation country or a certain country where the subsidiary of the organization is established. So, once he is going to move from his home country, he is going to leave his people, he is going to leave his family, his friends and his current position in the organization, and he has to go and adapt a different culture, a different position in that subsidiary of the organization. So, adjustment of this person at that particular place with the cultural difference, with the language difference that he is going to face in the host country will all involve different kinds of strategies, so that he is able to better cope up with these changes of the external environment faced by the host country. We have certain definitions as regards to strategic human resource management. It means formulating and executing human resource policies, practices that produce the employee competencies. Now, that means you have to create certain policies, you have to imbibe policies and rules in the organization, so as to keep in mind that they sharpen the skills of the employees. And ultimately, if the employees are skilled enough, they are experienced enough, they will be showing the behaviors, they will be reflecting the behaviors which are positive for the organization. That means, they will be motivated enough to cope up with the changes that they will be facing in the host country, and they will try to overcome all the difficulties that come in the host country. This was given by Gary Dessler. Second definition says strategic human resource management is defined as a pattern of planned human resource deployments and activities intended to enable an organization to achieve its goal. That means they are saying that specifically planning of the people, relocation of the people from one organization or one home country to the other country is called strategic human resource management. And while planning this relocation of the person, it is the intention of the organization that they are enabling the organization as well as the individual to achieve their individual goals. This was given by Wright and McMahon. We have certain components of strategic human resource management as they were there in the international human resource management. They are human resources, the activities that they plan, the pattern and the plan, and the purposefulness. The very first one, the human resources. This component is there because strategies related with human resources or human resource functions or the processes that they are going to perform in the host country. So, human resources skills, their competencies, their experience, how far they will be able to manage the different activities that they are there in the host country. These activities may be same as they were there in the home country, or they may differ according to the changed atmosphere in the host country. Certainly, there will be a change in the application of the activities. Why? Because these activities will be placed in front of certain external forces that will be there in the host country. Now, these external forces makes it very clear that as human resource management department has to be very flexible with its application of the processes. So, human resources or the person who is going to manage the functions of human resources in the host country has to be competent enough, has to be skilled enough to understand the various situations that come up in the host country, and he is able to deal with these situations with a very cool mind without stress at all. Secondly, we have the different activities. Now, by activities I mean to say that the various processes or the functions that these employees are going to perform in the host country. So, once the person is away from the home country, he is an expatriate, he lands in a host country, he starts facing the culture that is there in the host country. This cultural change needs to be adjusted by this person. He has to understand, this employee has to understand what is the change in the culture in the host country. And similarly, this change in the culture, this change in the adaptability, this change in the language that is different in the host country, he has to perform those activities which he has been intended to do by the organization. So, all the processes like for example, if we take up a single process, a very simple process like hiring. While hiring people, he has to keep in mind that the people he is going to hire, should they be there from the home country or they will be coming from the host country. What will be the changes if at all they are coming from the home country, they will be facing. All these things has to be kept in mind before this activity of hiring of people will be done. So, definitely a person will try to hire a mix of people, so that some of the people from the home country as well as some of the people from the host country are hired for the organization. Why? Because the host country people are experienced enough and they are aware of the culture of their own country. So, they will be helping, they will be acting as a guiding light to the employees of the home country organization in performing certain activities of the organization. Definitely. Then comes the third one, that is purposeful. That means whatever strategies you are going to apply, whatever plans you are going to apply whether in context to different processes of the human resource management, like I talked about hiring of people, placing of their placing them at different positions, then talking about their trainings and development. All these will be related to the purpose of the organization. will this particular process help or serve to the purpose of the organization. Now, by purpose we mean to say that is this particular step, is this implementation of the process working towards the achievement of the organization's goal. Now, here human resource department is should be very clear that organizational goals should be met out through each and every process that the human resources is going to perform in the host country. Now, when we talk about the organizational goal, they cannot be complete without the individual's goal. That means you should be very careful in checking out the satisfaction level, checking out the motivation level of the people who are going to the host country to perform various activities that we have talked about. Why? Because if they are not satisfied, if they are not motivated, they are not skilled, they will not be able to apply these activities in an efficient manner. And if the efficiency of the activities is less, the purpose, the basic purpose of why this particular activity has been done will fail. Then of course, organization goals will not be achieved. There will always be a gap between what was desired and what has been achieved. Similarly, we will be evaluating each and every process to check out the gaps between what was being desired and what has been achieved by that particular function. So, if there is a gap, we will be rectifying it, we will be trying to find out the reason why this gap has occurred, and the next time when the purpose or when the function again happens, this rectification, this improvement is to be applied, so that the efficiency increases, the gap decreases, the gap between the desired and the achieved decreases. The last component of strategic human resource management is the pattern and the plan to apply the fit between HR strategy and the organization's business strategy. Now, that means we are all aware, we as an HR person, we are aware of various functions, various processes in detail. We are also aware of the skill sets of experiences of the people who are going to handle these particular processes of HR. Now, the fourth function states that as an HR person, as an strategic human resource management, we need to check out a very simply clicking fit between the process and the skill that will be applied to implement this process. So, this fit has to be recognized through this pattern and plan. We will be changing, we as an HR will be changing, continuously changing the pattern and the plan to implement various policies, various practices or processes of HR, so that it fits into the organizational strategy and ultimately it gives the efficient HR strategy to the organization. So, when we talk about this fits, we have two kinds of fits, that is organizational business strategy, we call it as vertical fit, and business strategy, when we fit it with HR activities, we call it horizontal fit. So, we will be studying these two fits later on, but over here we need to understand that through human resources competency levels, skill sets, their activities that they are going to perform and serving to the main purpose of the organizational goals, these fits will be achieved by the strategic human resource management. That is why we say that strategic human resource management is an important aspect of international human resource management. We can say that strategic human resource management go hand in hand with international human resource management. There are some certain importances and challenges when we talk about strategic human resource management. Since last 2 decades, there has been increasing need felt across the sectors of HR, which say that HR plays a very vital role in improving the productivity of the organization. Therefore, if productivity is so much relevant to the skill sets of the people, to the understanding of the people, motivation of the people, definitely strategic human resource management comes into play. The primary goal of strategic human resource management is to solve business objectives. That means to clear all the obstacles or hindrances that come in the way of implementing different practices in the organization. They come out with various probable solutions that come up in the way of implementing of the practices and the policies. They try to come up with different solutions, so that the next time the policies are there, they are implemented with a more effectiveness, more efficiency. This has to be done through effective human resource management itself. So, it is basically the tuning of human resource management to suit the business objective. That means you have to perform all the human resource activities or the processes in line with or in inclination with business objectives. For this purpose, it is important that you understand what business objectives are. They should be very clear to the human resource management department. There are two types of human resource management. We call it hard HRM and we call it soft HRM. Now, when we talk about hard HRM, it means simply implementing proper processes and the practices in the organization, where we deal with people, we give certain instructions, orders to the people, and they start following them. While talking about soft HRM, it means it is related to softer part of human resource. It means it is related to the psychology of the human resources. That means everything, every implementation, every kind of practices, what kind of effect it is going to have on the psychology of the people. Both has to be turned out into a positive way, otherwise strategic human resource management will not work at all. For strategic human resource management, there must be effective cooperation between the top management and the HR head. So, some of the challenges that are faced by HRM are cross culture issues and interaction. Now, when we talk about international aspect, strategic human resource management has a very important role to play while dealing with cross cultural issues. Yes, when we talk about international context, different kind of culture comes into play. So, we have to deal with these different cultural issues, and we will as an HR department, it has to come up with various solutions, so that the person who is going to face this cultural difference solves this, copes up with this change in culture in the different host country. Second is internationalization. As we go in for internationalization, we go in for expansion of our business. It will again include hiring of new people, hiring of buying or purchasing of new technology, searching out new markets, searching out new needs and demands of the people. So, again strategies will be working in their action. Then changing ownership due to increased mergers and acquisition. So, if there are more and more mergers and acquisitions in the organization, again strategies will play. Strategies will take their action, they will guide the organization, they will guide the people who are working on these strategies to implement all the practices or policies in a better way. Rapidly changing business environments. So, when we talk about international context, it means external factors such as political factors, economic factors, technological factors, raw material factors, labor factors, all of them come into play. So, we have to deal with these factors with a different outlook, with a different perspective when we talk about international context. All this can be done through implementing of strategies, studying of these factors and analyzing them and implementing them through different strategies. Last kind of challenge is technological advancement. When the organization starts to expand, it starts to adapt new technologies or advanced technologies from the new countries. Of course, the expansion will always be done in a country which is in a growth phase. So, you will be needed to adapt an upgraded technology or an advanced technology in that country. If your workforce is not skilled enough, is not experienced enough to adapt to this technological advancement, and you are not able to strategically implement training and development processes for these people, you will not be able to fit them in this changed technological advanced environment. So, for this fit, you will be implementing the different strategic human resource management activities. We have certain principles of strategic human resource management, like principle of comprehensiveness. HRM should be closely matched to business objectives. You should be very comprehensive, you should be very detailed and very focused when talking about implementation of various processes. These processes need to be in line or need to be inclined towards business achievement of business objectives. So, if you move away from the objectives and implement a process, there are less chances of efficiency of that particular process. The second principle says principle of coherence. Coherence means remain attached to or remain stick to. When you are implementing different strategies, you have to remain attached to various practices, various policies, activities of human resources, so that you do not shift away from the basic objective of human resource. So, now we are trying to take into consideration the activities of human resource as well as the activities of the organization as a whole, and we have to integrate both of them with the help of strategic human resource management. So, this can be done only by remaining coherent with the practices, with the policies of the organization itself. Principle of control. Now, this principle says that you need to clearly mention what kind of controlling activities, controlling authorities will be given to the people at different nodes in the organization structure. The control span of control, who will be responsible for how many of the people or how many of the activities in the organization. With control there comes responsibility. Principle of communication. It states that now whatever policies or practices you have prepared to strategically implement the practices of human resource management into the organization, you have to clearly communicate it to the people, your employees, your human resources. If they are not clear with the policies or the rules of the organization, they will not be able to efficiently produce or be productive in whatever they are intended in, and of course, they will be living in a situation like confused state, maybe they become frustrated. So, in that case you need to communicate clear policies, clear practices to these people. Principle of credibility. As a human resource management, if the work is being done efficiently and the productivity is achieved, it becomes the role of the management, top management, that they give credibility to the people, they give recognition to the people who have performed it. Then principle of commitment. Commitment comes from the top management. So, the top management should always be proactive and be committed towards the implementation of the practices. And the commitment also means that the top management has to ensure that the implementation of these particular practices or policies or functions are being done in an efficient manner. Principle of change. It says that human resource management basic processes remain the same, but the implementation process can change. There has to be some kind of flexibility that will be affecting the process of the human resource, because of the certain external factors which are beyond the control of the organization. Then comes principle of competence. If we keep on strategically preparing the practices or rules for the organization and incline them with the objectives of human resource management department, the competence of the people, the competence of the human resource department management we have will always increase. Principle of creativity, it says that competitive advantages comes into unique strategies. When we implement proper unique strategies, creativity and innovation will always come. Principle of cost effectiveness. Competitive, fair, reward and promotion systems are related to cost effectiveness. That means you have to look into various rewards and the satisfaction level of the people, so that they remain with you for a longer period of time. Once they are skilled, they should not leave your organization. Their skills, their experience are important, are valuable for the organization. For example, two organizations using the same technology may show different levels of performance due to following reasons. The quality of human resource and their contribution to the organization determine the performance. Therefore, organization success will always depend on the skill sets, on the experience sets of your human resource. An organization uses combination of several resources. These resources can be tangible and intangible to pursue this objective. The three basic resources that are responsible for accomplishment of objectives of the organization are physical capital, organizational capital and human resources capital. Thus, we can say an organization may have huge capital and the most advanced machinery, but it will not be able to capably perform all the activities without motivated and high performing employees. That means you have to fit your resources with your human resources, so that you get that fit and you are able to be more productive and effective organization. Coming down to the process of human resource management, it starts with elaborating of goals, objectives, missions and vision of the organization. So, it has to be very clear in the minds of the human resource management department. Then we have to analyze these goals. Based on these goals, we have to see that which kind of human resource management or people are available to, who will be performing these goals, who will be performing these activities. Then we will be determining the future manpower requirement and the skill gaps. That means which kind of people will be required for implementing this strategic human resource management, and if they are existing in the organization, then it is very good. If they are not existing, how this gap of their skills, of their experience will be fulfilled. This can be done through either hiring of people, experienced people from outside the organization, or it can be also done through training and development of the existing staff. Identifying the tools and the means of the job accomplishment. That means you will be training, you will be developing the people for the new set of assignment that is going to come from the host country, or you may either go for hiring of new people from the home country itself, who are efficient enough, who are experienced enough in the set of strategic human resource department. Application of suitable human resource management strategies. They will the chosen people will be taught, will be told about, will be communicated about the various human resource strategies, and they should be successfully able to implement these strategies in the organization. Once these strategies are implemented, a review process is always done. This review means evaluation of a strategic human resource management department. So, there is a difference between strategic human resource management and HR activities. We can see strategic human resource management is a long term process, it is a general approach. It focuses on areas, specific areas which are related to HR strategies and need to be developed for future purpose. It also focuses on macro concerns such as strategic structure and culture of the organization, so as to bring the fit in the organization. Strategic human resource decisions are built into the strategic business plans. Essential features, they are explicitly linked between HR policies and practices. There are organizing schema linking individual HR interventions so that they are mutually supportive. Much of the responsibility of the management of human resource is lowering down towards the achievement of the objectives of the organization. Then altogether transformation of HR staff needs to be done so that they are trained and developed to adapt new assignments in the host country. Transforming the organizational structure, in transforming the HR structure from traditional SHRM to SHRM. Enhancing administrative efficiency, HR staff members must take an active role in engineering, administrative and other processes to enhance administrative role. Now, how we can link to the business strategies? It can be done through three types of fits. The first is vertical fit. This aspect of vertical fit concerns with coincidence between HR practice and overall business strategies. Horizontal fits means fitting it with organizational activities, organizational objectives with the HR activities, and the external fit, the third aspect, concerns with how well HR activities match the demand with the external environment of the organization. So, these three fits can be exactly taken up as the strategies to fit up organizational goal with the individual goals and aligning them with the international assignment that we are going to adapt in future for the organization. Ultimately, it should lead to productivity, it should lead to efficiency of the organization as well as motivation and satisfaction amongst the people who are going to the host country for pursuing these functions on the international assignment. Thank you.